Alright, so here we have a kinematics problem, and the problem states this. In order to take off, an airplane needs to reach a velocity of 226 kilometers an hour on a 2,000-meter runway. What is the minimum acceleration necessary for the plane to take off? And they want in meters per second squared. So let's do this. The first thing I need to know is what I really want. So I'm going to be saying this. What we need to find is going to be our acceleration in this case. We need to find our acceleration. What is given to us? Right, let's write our givens down. We are given the final velocity of the plane that is necessary, which is going to be 226 kilometers per hour, right? So that's necessary for our plane to actually lift off. We also know that the change in x is going to be 2,000 meters because the distance of my runway is 2,000 meters. So the change in my x is going to be equal to 2,000 meters. All right. And our final part here is it's not really directly stated in the problem itself, but we should know is that our plane is going to be starting from rest. So our velocity initial is going to be equal to 0 meters per second. All right, so now our next task here is to actually convert kilometers per hour into meters per second. In order to do that, it's pretty simple. It's fairly simple, actually. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 226 kilometers per hour, right? And then we're going to be dividing it by 60, and then dividing it by 60 again. And then what I'm going to be doing to this is we're going to be multiplying it by 1,000. Now, what exactly is this doing? When I'm dividing by 60, it's turning into kilometers per minute, and divide by 60 again, it's being kilometers per second. And then when we multiply it by 1,000, it's going to become meters per second. Alrighty? So when we do this, we get a value of 62.78 meters per second. All right? Okay, cool. So now since we've done that, we can get to our formula. So there's usually 5 kinematics formulas that are really important and necessary. But the formula we're going to be using for this example here is this one, which is our velocity final squared, right, is going to be equal to our velocity initial squared plus 2 times acceleration, and this x represents in the x direction, multiplied by changing the x. Alright, so now since we've got our formula ready, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be isolating for acceleration. So let's do that. So it's going to be our final velocity squared, subtract our initial velocity squared, and it's going to be divided by the change in our distance here. And that's going to be isolated for our a. You can remove these x's if it confuses you. You can just write vi, vf, right? This should be the formula we're going to be using to find acceleration. And from now onwards, it should be really easy to solve. So let's do this. So it's going to be basically our velocity final, which is going to be 62.78 squared, right? Minus 0. And it's going to be all over 2 times 2,000. And if you do the calculations here, you should get 0.985 meters per second. Now something to remember is that your teacher may want units in your calculations. Some teachers won't. But yeah, so that should be your final answer, which is 0.985 meters per second. And that's it to solving this problem. Hope it helped.